Hey, what's up everyone? This is Eli from checkit.com here with an After Effects tutorial on Wednesday instead of Effects Friday. So I don't know what to call, a tutorial when I make it on Wednesday. Maybe a wonderful nah, that's ugly. How about Wobbuffet Wednesday? No, that's Pokemon. I can get copyrighted. No. You guys come up with a name for when I make a tutorial on Wednesday. I can't think of one. Put it in the comments. Also, leave your comments and leave something funny or anything interesting or something. I don't know. I leave my favorite comments at the end of every video, so keep that in mind. Also, make sure that you stop by checkit.com, and the link is in the description, to download this project for free. And also give the video a like, because guess what? I know you're going to like this tutorial. Even if you're advanced in After Effects, you might learn something from this, because today we're going over how to not make your intros suck. How to change them from being sucky into works of art. And why I'm doing this is because so many people, I get tons of Facebook messages, every day that say, check out my new intro, it's so awesome, it kicks your butt. I'm like, okay, and this is what they send me. Look how ugly this is. I throw up. I click on the link and immediately I get sick to my stomach. I have to run to the bathroom, and it's just not a pretty picture. So I want to show you guys how to improve your intros and make them more interesting. And yeah, before you guys are like, well, who are you to say if my intro sucks or not? You're not even that good yourself. Well, guess what, guys? I've been doing this for a long time, and I'm not really even a teacher. I'm just a man that likes to make people better at video editing. So I'm not a teacher, don't judge me like that, but I know what looks good, and I do have some great tips for you guys, so just keep that in mind while you're watching this. So anyway, let's get to the tutorial. So first thing you're going to see is, I'm going to hit 0 so you guys can actually see this ugly intro. They send me this all the time. The first thing we're going to do is, I'm going to suggest, if you don't have something called optical flares or no light factory, do not use lens flares. It's just ugly, and the ones that come with After Effects are just so not realistic or even pretty at all. I don't know, but also avoid these ugly animations, these spinning and then just suddenly stopping animations. Please, for the love of all that is beautiful in the world. So let's drop down this menu. I'm just going to reset all the settings and delete all these keyframes. Boom. And now we can get started. So, first thing I'm going to suggest also, well, no, this would be the second thing, is let's just change this from your company name to, your productions. Okay, so first things first, this text is so ugly. Everyone uses this. It's Times New Roman, okay? My first suggestion when editing text is always go to a free font website that, doesn't have any copyrights or anything like that, like 1001 Free Fonts, and go search out a text that you like. So, we can go try to find one right now. How about, what should we go for? Let me go to modern. Ooh, these are kind of cool. So many good texts. That's kind of cool. Which one did I use before? I can't remember. Conciliant. Whoa. That's sharp looking. Corporate. Oh yeah, I used Crixus. So, if you download it, boom, it's downloading. See, I already had it download. Let's open it. Here's the zip file. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to I'm going to create a new folder quick. You can always extract, but for some reason it doesn't work very well on my computer, so I'm going to call this Crixus. Okay, I'm going to extract it by clicking and dragging over to here. Boom, it's extracted. You can't install it that way. So now you select them all using Shift, right-click, and just click Install. But I already have it installed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to After Effects, and I'm going to show you guys. You double click it, you go here, and you go find that font. We have a ton of fonts downloaded because we've made a lot of intros and we use a lot of fonts. But I'm probably just going to use the... actually, I'm going to use a different font. I'm going to use Advent Pro. So what's cool about this font, which is a free font, let's actually scale this up quick. Let's hit S on this and let's scale it up just so we can kind of see what's going on. It was very small, that's what she said. Okay, so, whoa. Okay, select it, boom. So here's what we're going to do. Let's make this more interesting. A lot of you guys make the mistake of keeping everything uniform. Here's what we want to do. We want to do that, and let's size up your, and then let's actually make your bold. I'm just changing the, I can't remember the font face or something like that. And I'm going to keep productions. Let's actually make that a little lighter. Cool. And let's size up your. Awesome. Look how cool that looks. So much better already. So now we can put this in the middle. And now, that already looks a million times better, but it's not animated or anything. So what do we want to do to this? Let's say, I'm just going to make a very simple intro. So first things first, a big mistake is your background, okay? Let's right click, go new, solid. Oh, and here's something else actually. Let me start with this. Go up to your composition, your comp settings, and make sure that you're in some kind of HD, at least 720p, which is 1280 by 720, okay? Doesn't matter how long it is. Well, yeah, it does. That's what the girls say, but it does. Just kidding. So that's what she said. Joke. I make the stupidest jokes. I always do 1080p, which is 1920 by 1080. But if you guys don't have the computer power to, you know, make stuff with that aspect ratio and everything, then go with 720p. But don't go below HD. Trust me. It's way more professional to keep it this way. All right, so now let's right-click, go new, solid, and let's just call this BG. And there's multiple ways to make a background, but I'm just going to give you guys the very basics. Let's go up to our effects and presets and type in ramp. Let's click and drag ramp onto the background. And let's just make the top one kind of a light gray. And this one kind of a darker gray. And then let's amp up the ramp scatter. This is very important to like 450. That just adds noise, so then there's not that thing called banding in it. Okay, and then you can keep it linear ramp or you can make it a radial ramp. Personally, I really like radial ramp. And now, here's something else we can do. Let's right-click on your productions. Let's go to Layer Styles, and we can add an inner shadow or a drop shadow. Let's just do an inner shadow. Let's drop it down, and let's turn up the opacity on it so it's really dark and easy to see. Let's zoom in using the scroll wheel. And when I do inner shadows, I like to make the distance very, very close. Maybe not that close, though. Maybe 2 pixels. And then the size, let's put that down to like 3. Oh, that's so nice. Look how sharp that looks already. Very, very simple, and it looks professional. Oh my goodness. So for animation purposes, let's just do a nice kind of pop noise. So to make this a nice 5-second intro, let's hit S for scale, and then let's set a keyframe right here. And let's drag that keyframe to where we want it to pop up. So about 1 second, let's have it pop up and then drag over right before it. And let's make the scale 0. Okay, so then it goes to 296. So let's go before that 296 and let's actually overshoot it. Let's go to like 310. So then it overshoots it and then it goes back down. And that just makes a lot better of a animation. If I can show you, let me hit 0 and just show you what I'm talking about. So boom, that's a little fast. Let me drag this out so you guys can just see what's going on. Yeah, you see how it kind of pops up, maybe even larger than that. Let's go to like 321, that'll be good. And then let's make these easy ease keyframes, of course, by selecting the keyframes and hitting F9. It just makes a very smooth transition. Okay, so now what we want to do, we want to select the Your Productions, we want to hit Y, and that brings up the anchor point, and we want to drag it to the middle, just so it sizes up from the middle of our text. Alright, and then go back to the regular tool by going up here, and let's hit 0 and let it render out again and just see what we created. So boom, it's It's actually a little too slow for my liking. I'm going to drag it back in. Yeah, you see that? Look how nice that was. So boom. Nice and simple. Easy ease keyframes are a way to make your stuff a million times more attractive. So let's actually go into here and let's change the color. You know, even change it up a little more. So the productions, let's make this, I'm going to select it. Let's just make it, what, like a dark gray maybe? Yeah, that's cool. Makes it a little harder to see. I mean, you can make it your company color or something. I really don't care what you do, to be honest, but just make it a different color. It just looks more interesting. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to, what should I do? Let's make it fade out. So it stands there for a little bit, and then around 3 seconds and 20 frames, let's do something called hit the T on the keyboard, and then let's toggle a keyframe for the opacity. And let's go to the very back of our timeline, and let's drag this down to 0. And that'll just set a keyframe to where it kind of, let's actually make this easy ease by hitting F9. Alright, now let's hit 0 and see what we did back there. I'm going to go throw a football around with my friends later, I think. And then slowly fades out. That's pretty nice, right guys? I mean, already it's looking better. What else can I suggest? That alone already looks a million times better. How about doing this? Let's right click, go new, and do a new camera. And this is very important because a lot of people don't do this and it bothers me, okay? The human eye, or the human brain really, does not like when things are standing still, okay? So something that is very in the back of your mind but makes things look a million times better, this works for anything, is using a slight zoom. So let's make these layers 3D. Let's select your productions and hit F4 to bring up the modes over here. Let's make both the your productions and the BG 3D by clicking this 3D box. And then let's go to our camera, let's drop down these options, and let's go to the camera options. And now we're going to set a keyframe at the very beginning, at whatever the zoom is at. You can always change that. Then I'm going to go to the back. Actually, I'm going to go to where we see the text still. I'm going to zoom in by just, clicking over here and zooming in. And then I'm going to take that keyframe and go all the way to the back. Awesome. And that just makes it zoom in the entire time and makes things a million times more interesting for something that is so simple. See how it kind of zooms in slowly? It's just way more interesting. And I actually don't like it zooming in at first. I'm going to have it start zooming in after. Yeah. I'm actually going to make this easy ease. It's annoying. Cool. So I'm going to add particles in. And I'm assuming that you guys don't have any third-party plugins. This is just going to be, making things more interesting with everything that comes with After Effects. So I'm going to zoom up, close everything, and we're going to go to New, Solid. And then let's just call this what? How about particles? That makes things easy. Okay. Doesn't matter what color it is. Let's go over here and type in particle. And we want CC particle world. Okay. Drag and drop it onto particles. And I already have a preset for the particles just so it saves a lot of time. Alright, so here's what we created right here. I mean, it's alright, I guess. It's not the best, but I'm just showing you guys, I'm giving you guys the tickets to be successful. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit T. I'm going to lower the opacity of all this. It's a little intense for my liking. I mean, it's not supposed to be front and center. Alright, so now they're kind of in the background, and they're just something to kind of help out. I'm going to spread them out some more. We don't need a ton of particles. Goodness. Just need to be kind of there. Alright, so now what we can do is, let's try something else. So instead of this background, let's use something from the internet, like paper texture. All I did was go to Google and type in paper texture, and I actually downloaded a bunch of these things. So let me double click, and I downloaded a pack of paper textures. I like this one, that one, that one. Let's just grab some, put them in, see which one we like the most. So I'm going to put them right there, turn that off. So that looks okay. That one's alright, I guess. I don't like that one. That one's too white, so I'm going to take the top one. I'm going to call this Texture BG. I'm going to turn off the old BG and turn on this new one. And here's something you'll notice is that our nice friggin' imprint looks pretty good, but it would look a lot nicer if we use the blending mode. So if you don't have the blending modes up still, hit F4 to toggle that, and let's drop down and just kind of find something that we like. A lot of these look pretty good. Let's see. Come on. Whoa, what the heck? That looks pretty cool. That changed the entire look of the project. So I'm going to keep it like that. And I'm actually going to hit F4 once again. I'm going to make the paper also 3D, so then it works with the camera. And I'm actually going to hit the S for scale. I'm going to size this down until it reaches the edges, and that's fine. Alright, so now if we hit 0, oh whoops, because I'm in the middle, it's I should have had it further back a little bit. So I'm going to go here, and now I'm going to mess with the scale a little more. Let's just go to 53. That's fine. Alright, so now what we can do is, you'll see that it kind of does this, but I don't like how it pops up anymore. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the P, actually not P, S for scale, of course. Let's delete all those keyframes. So it's there already. And let's actually size it up because I don't like how small it is. That's what she said, goodness gracious. Okay, so let's size it up. That looks good. And now when the camera zooms in, everything zooms in, but at least it's front and center. And now let's do a T for the opacity, and we already have the opacity set for back there, but how about for here? So let's put it down to 0 and have it fade in over the course of 1 second. So then have it go to 100%. So go there and then type in 100, and it goes, and then it fades out. Pretty nice, right? Okay, so how else can we improve this intro? There's a lot we can do to this. So now that we have a cool texture looking thing, let's add a vignette. And a vignette does multiple things. First off, let's create a new solid and create the vignette. I always call it EVGA. Hit OK. I go up to this rectangular tool. I go down to the ellipse tool. With EVGA selected, I double click on the EVGA layer. I invert the mask, drop down the menu, and I turn up the feather a lot, because I don't like a weird feather. And that's looking pretty good, maybe even up, yeah. So let's just go to an even 500, and then here's what I want to do. I want to select that, click off of the mask. So over here, click off the mask so I can edit the individual points. I'm going to hit shift and drag this over so that it makes it an actual oval. Click over, boom, or more like an actual circle, because I don't like how it's not really like focus. It's weird. I don't like how like the edges looked like that. So now I'm going to bring up the blending modes again, and you'll notice a pattern here. I like using the blending modes, and I like using the camera and the 3D effects and such to just amplify what we're doing here. I mean, look at that. I just set it to overlay and it already looks a million times better. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to duplicate it by hitting Control D. And you can keep it like that, or you can set it to a different, I'm going to just set it to soft light just to darken it a little bit. But what you'll notice is, I'm actually going to, on the darker one, I'm going to set it out a little more. I don't like how it's hitting yours that much. Alright, cool. So what I forgot to do was on the camera, I'm going to drop this down, and for the zoom, I'm just going to take this and put it all the way at the beginning. This makes it look a million times better if it starts zooming in at the beginning. So I guess the particles add a little something something, but we can change the color of them. Let's actually make them the black. I think it was in the stencils. No? Okay, I'm going to hit Shift plus, I'm going to go through them. Oh no, it was somewhere over here. Oh yeah, well, let me hit T. Bring it back up to 100 so I can see the particles. I don't even see any. Okay, so now I'm going to do the same thing, just hit plus. There's the black ones. Cool. Let's see how that looks. I like that. I'm going to hit T. Oh, not R, T. For the opacity and drop it down a little bit so they're not completely black. Let's just go to 70. And that'll be fine. Enter. Awesome. So, you see how I'm just incorporating these basic ideas to make intros look a million times more clean. And I mean, once you learn the basics, you can add these little things to your intros and make them look a trillion times better. Here, let's actually do an adjustment layer quick. So adjustment layers work like this. If you right click, same way you create a new solid, but go to adjustment layer instead. Adjustment layers affect only what's beneath them. So let's drag it right above the texture. Let's hit enter and just call this color. Alright, and let's go over to the effects and presets, and let's go to, actually, let's just delete glow and go down to color correction. Look at all these things that we can mess with. Let's mess with curves and brightness and contrast. And maybe hue and saturation, just to have some fun. So hue and saturation, of course, you can just drop it down, make it black and white, and it looks cool. But, I mean, that's basic. Brightness and contrast, you can, amp the brightness up of it and the contrasting and make some very interesting looking things. Like, that's kind of cool. But I'm not going to use brightness contrast either. What I want to mess with is the curves. So curves, you can always just add, a slight S curve to give it the background more of a darker look, a more gritty look. But what I'm most likely going to do... Okay, sorry, I'm turning off my phone right now because people keep texting me. Is I'm going to change the color. So red, let's say you don't like the red in it. Let's drop down the red all around. Cool, that's just in the shadows. You can always mess with this. And just change the color completely. Let's say I like the green. You can really amp it up. Or you don't like the green, let's make it more bluish. That's what I want to go for, is more of a kind of amped up blue. Oh yeah, that looks awesome. Check that out. And I mean, you can go into the blue settings and, lower the blue or higher the blue and what you want. I'm going to lower very slightly just to bring back some of those other colors. And look how much cooler that looks. Alright, so last things that we can do to this. Let's see. First off, let's add another adjustment layer, because that's kind of what we were going over. Let's hit enter to rename it. Let's just call it DOF. Guys, make sure that you're naming your layers and you're working organized. It's bad not to be working organized. So anyway, let's do the same thing we did before. Create an ellipse tool, kind of like that VIGI. We're going to double click, invert it, and of course, drop down, do the feather. Let's make it 500. All right, now let's go over to the effects and presets and type in blur. Scroll down, camera lens blur. That's what we're going to do. We're going to create some depth of field, of course. So let's drag these edges in. Not too much, actually. We still want some sharpness in the yaw. Awesome. so now we can, let's do blur radius 5 is fine. Repeat edge pixels so it doesn't blur the edges. And now the entire project has depth of field on it. Nice, right? That's awesome. So I guess last thing we need to do, and this is very important, is fades, guys. You need fades. So here's a very simple and pro way to do fades in After Effects, because there's no real easy way to do it. Well, this is the easiest way. So let's just call this fade. Make sure it's black. Let's hit T for opacity. And it's going to be at 100% opacity. And then when everything starts coming in, let's do about here. Let's go 0. And then at the end, let's have it go here. Let's do a keyframe at 0 again. So I'm just going to do that. Or you can click this right here to create a keyframe. Go to the end and type in 100. Alright, so I'm going to hit 0 and have it pre-render for us. Alright guys, check it out. This is what we just created together. Nice, simple, elegant, super fast. This could be your intro. I mean, I created this out of nothing. I had no plan going into this. I just wanted to teach you guys a few things. I can do an advanced one, but it would be advanced, guys. I mean, I teach you guys some very in-depth crap. But anyway, I guess thanks for watching, and make sure that you go download this project file. Make sure you give the video a like and leave a comment, and stay to watch the comments at the end to see if your comments from last week made it. So thanks so much for watching, guys, and I will see you in 2 days on Effects Friday. Peace!